Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. It is Stephanie, and I'm going to attempt to do a sort of week in my life video for y'all this week.
Open eye, feel the waves cut through me.
Like I said, it's Sunday, so it's absolutely beautiful outside. I went for a little walk with my friend this morning, which was really nice. And now I think I'm going to sit outside and read for a bit. And then, I'll have to plan for the week. I'll kind of walk you through what our week will look like and our theme and all our activities. And then we'll go from there. So yeah, I'm going to go outside on the balcony and do a little bit of reading. So like I said, I'm going to start my afternoon by reading a book. I'm currently reading The Test by Sylvia Newell. And it's a super short book here. It is like 109 pages, I think. And I'm currently on page 30. I picked this one up next because it is the shortest book on my shelf, so I thought, I'd be able to get it done quickly. But basically, it is about our main character who is taking the British citizenship test, and then something goes awry. I won't tell you why. It does happen like 10 pages into the book, but the book's also very short. So I don't want to give too much away, but it seems good so far. I heard a couple people talk about it. I know Kayla has talked about it on her channel, Books and Lala, and then I heard a couple other people have read it this year too. I actually got this from Book Outlet. I will leave a link down below to the video where I talk about all the books that I ordered from Book Outlet. Not sponsored, but if you want to sponsor me, Book Outlet, hit me up. But yeah, so I'm excited for this book. It is a little bit windy outside, so I might put my sweatshirt on, but it is so nice. Oh my goodness, I love it. Hey, look, there's me. But yeah, so I'm going to sit outside for a bit, do some reading, and then I'll go back inside to prep for the week. What? What is happening? What is happening? This is... Okay. I just finished my book, so I'm going inside. I don't even know what to say about that book. Like, I don't know. Like, it was totally not what I was expecting at all. And like, I liked it. I like how it was written, but I also I didn't like what happened in the book. And I think it says a lot. It says a lot about our society in such a short book. But I don't know. I think this is a book that I need to think on for a while before I can understand how I feel about it. You know what I mean? But yeah, so finished my book. I'm going to find a place for it on my shelf. And then I think I'm going to have a little snack. And then I will start planning for our week, and I'll take you with me on that little journey too, so you can kind of see what we're going to be learning about this week. So I'm about to plan for the week, and I wanted to kind of show you how I do that. So we do not have a Monday through Friday schedule. My school follows a day 1 through day 6 schedule. So last week, our Monday was a day 3. And then it went day 4, day 5, day 6, and then Friday was back to day 1. So I make this sort of just weekly overview where we can see any meetings that I have before school, like I had a meeting with my mentor, anything that's happening during lunch and after school. I also will include things like any meetings that I have to go to or like assemblies. And then I will also include our tabletop activity for the day and our special. Sometimes I'll also write like our main event, like our big activity for the day, but it really depends. So this kind of gives us an overview of the week. And then I'll also include like, oh, here's a picture of the mitten craft that we did. I'll show you that later. I have to cut them out and laminate them so I can show you those. So this kind of does that. And what I'll usually do is I will put links to all of the activities that we have going on. So like I had this little freebie that I found, this booklet. So I linked to that so that way we would be able to find it very easily. And then I'll go through, and I'm not going to show you this because it has student names, so it'll be all blurred out. But basically what it does is we will see the time and the activity for that time, and then where each child is supposed to go. So our kids will either go to circle or they will go and have DTI during that time. They'll either do centers or go to DTI, that sort of thing. And I've kind of been editing these schedules as new students have been coming in and as our schedules have kind of changed. But that's kind of what our schedule looks like now. So I am going to make this week's copy and kind of, put in like we're going to start on a day 2 this week. And I'll put in all our specials and things. So yeah, that is my plan for right now. So what I'll typically do is I have a general schedule. So this one is blank. And I have a blank copy of everything with days 1 through 6 on here. And then what I will do is I will make a copy of this document. I'll name it whatever the week is. So in this case, it's January 13th through the 17th. I'll make a copy of that and then I'll go through. So we said that we were starting with a day 2, which means I do not need day 1 on here. And then, we'll start with a day 2. And I'll go through and we'll have day 2, 3, 4, 5, and day 6 this week. As you can see, some of my schedules are a little bit different. And that's because these are old ones that I'm remaking. So I'll go through and I will plan out our week. This week our theme is gingerbread cookies. So we're going to be learning about gingerbread cookies this week, and that kind of entails us reading the story of the Gingerbread Man. So I got a book from the library. We're going to read that. I also am going to look and see if I can find a version of the story on Epic. Which is a fabulous website, highly recommend, that you can either read like audiobooks or ebooks or like a combination where it highlights the words as it's reading it to you. So those are the books that we tend to use in my classroom, and I'll put it up on the TV. And, we might use that as a short little story time activity. So we'll do that. But then we're also going to be decorating some like little felt cutouts of gingerbread people that they'll get to decorate, give them like a face and clothes and stuff like that. I'll put a clip in here. I got a couple things from Michael's right after the big holiday, get all of our stuff out after the holiday kind of sale thing that they do. Where they put everything on clearance once the season has passed. So I got a bunch of gingerbread cookie, crafty things that we'll do. And then my big craft for this week is we are going to bake cookies. We're not going to make gingerbread cookies. They're just going to be sugar cookies. But then we will cut them out. And, we'll use the cookie cutters to cut out people shapes, and we'll decorate them. And I'm very excited. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I have a bunch of kids with allergies. I also have myself and one of my paras who has allergies. So I had to find a recipe that would be safe for everybody. So I was able to find a recipe. I have to go shopping. I'm going to go shopping tomorrow on Monday. to get some of the things that we need. Like, for example, we can't use dairy products in a recipe, so I have to pick up soy milk and stuff like that that are safe for us all to have. So I'm going to get those ingredients tomorrow, and then I'm thinking either Thursday or Friday is when we'll actually make the cookies. And so what we'll do is I will have pre-measured everything, like it'll be in bags, labeled and everything. And I'll have the kids pour it and mix it all together. We'll roll out the dough. Yeah, so I'm very excited. I think it's going to be fun. It's definitely going to be a big mess and it's going to be a lot of work, but I love cooking with kids. I think that they get so much out of it. Maybe I'll talk a little bit more about that in this video. But I think it's going to be a really fun activity, so I'm really looking forward to that. So all week we're just going to kind of be preparing for that. We'll talk about the idea of a gingerbread cookie looking like a person and how you can, make it look like yourself or someone else. We'll talk about the original start of the idea of gingerbread people with, the queen making cookies who looked like her guests and stuff like that. So we'll kind of talk about that. And then throughout the week, we'll practice. We'll do a lot of Play-Doh this week where we're doing cookie cutters and stuff like that to really work on some of those fine motor skills that we're going to need for our activity later in the week. I told the occupational therapist about it and said that might be a good day for her to come in and observe some of my kids because we're going to have to do a lot of our fine motor skills with that, with rolling out the dough and, cutting out with the cookie cutters. So it'll be really fun. I'm super excited. So I am going to organize our week and I'll talk to you in a bit. Hey y'all, happy Monday. It is about 10 of 8 o'clock and I'm exhausted. I was planning on leaving a bit earlier today, but then I didn't want to get up. It was a rough morning. But I'm going to head out to school and get some stuff ready for the day, make sure that all of our centers and things are in place, make sure everything is ready for the PPT I have today. Yeah, so that's my plan. I'm going to head out now, and I will see you there. To go. I have to reprint all my stuff now because there was no toner in the printer. I didn't realize that. So we got a bunch of books. And I'm thinking we'll do a monthly thing. So like September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. Still more books to go through, and these are not going to be like out in the open. I'm going to see if I can get some of those like bins to put the books in. So I think that'll be better. Hey y'all, it is Monday evening. I am at home. I've eaten dinner and settled in for the night. And my plan for the rest of the evening is just kind of hang out. I don't have too much that I want to get done. But I'm currently editing a video for my BookTube channel. The last video I posted, I kind of plugged that channel where I talk more about books. So I'll plug it here again, let you know. If you're interested in books, I have a channel dedicated to talking about books. And I recently got a whole big package from Book Outlet, which has books for amazing prices. So I talked about some of the YA and adult books that I had purchased recently. So that's the video that I'm currently editing. Hopefully it'll be up by the time this video goes up. But I'll leave a link down below if you're interested. So that's my plan. Today went pretty well. I had a PPT, which went awesome. It's always good when you can talk about, the progress the kids are making. So it was nice to be able to share that with the family, that this child was doing well. We started some more center time today. We had a little bit more structured centers. It started while I was in the PPT, so that was kind of awkward. I wasn't sure how that was going to go, but it went well. And then, tomorrow we'll try it again. Yeah, we're going to do some more centers tomorrow, more gingerbread. Oh, I need to remember to put the gingerbread people in my bag so I can bring that to school tomorrow. Yeah, we'll do the same sort of like morning meeting activity. And we'll go from there. On Thursday, my plan is to do the actual baking. So I went shopping this evening and I picked up some of the ingredients that I didn't have because we have, some allergies and things. I had to pick up like soy milk, which I don't usually drink. So, like those kinds of things I had to find. And I was able to pick up today. So I have them all ready for Thursday. I will like pre-measure and everything and then bring them in. So, yeah. And I'll show you just kind of real quick, how I'm editing here. I use Movie Studio. That's just something that I've been using forever. I got it because it was the least expensive program, years ago when I first started really getting into video editing. And now, I love it. It works very easily. I find it very user-friendly. But anyways, I am editing my video now where I talk about some of the books that I got. So like I said, I'll leave some links down below. I'll also leave a link to my last video where I talked about my favorite children's books of 2019. Hello again. So one of the other things that I happened to do tonight, I wasn't planning on doing it, but, things just kind of happened that it had to happen, that we had to talk about it tonight instead of tomorrow morning. But so I just had a phone call with my mentor and we talked about my presentation that I have to give. So I've mentioned this in some previous videos, but I, being a first-year teacher in Connecticut, have to go through the TEAM program, which is Teacher Education and Mentorship. And so basically I was assigned a mentor. And I have to work through 5 different modules or 5 different units of work. Our units include, so our first one is about the environment, student engagement and commitment to learning. Our second module is about planning. Our third is about our instruction. And fourth is about our assessment. And then lastly, we have one on professional responsibility. So our professional responsibility module was a one night. We all had to go in and, hear some presentations and do some projects together. But then the other 4 modules are a semester long, so about half a year. And it involves doing a lot of look at our teaching and finding things that we want to work on, and then working with our mentor in doing research and, going through professional development to figure out how to reach that goal that we've set. And then writing a paper or giving a presentation to talk about all the things that we've learned and how it's affected our teaching and our students. And so that first module, like I said, is about our classroom environment. So I chose to focus on transitions because my kids have a lot of transitions throughout the day. My students receive, different services like physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech, that sort of stuff. So they're, constantly in and out of the classroom with different teachers. And it's a lot for them. They're 3 years old. They're still getting used to school. So when a teacher comes in and, tries to take them to a different room, it can be overwhelming for them. So I chose to focus on my transitions and how it was causing, some stress in my students because, teachers coming in, taking me to a different room. Where am I going? What's going on? That was really hard for a lot of them. So I chose to focus on that and creating a system where students were better able to, understand where they were going and take responsibility. So I made this check-in and check-out system. And then I also have my my schedule up on the board that we made. So basically all of that I have to turn into a presentation to give to some of the other teachers at my school to kind of show them, the problems that we were having, how I fixed it, and how it affected the kids. And so I was working on this presentation tonight with my mentor. I had worked on it and it's due on Wednesday. So we were just, going over some last minute fixes, just little things like I had to change the font size and like rearrange a couple of my slides, nothing too major, because we've been working on this for a while now. But yeah, I'm really happy with how it came out. I have to hand it in this week, but I don't give my presentation until next week. But yeah, I think it turned out really well and I'm really excited about it. And then as soon as this one's done, we're going to start up on module 2. But yeah, that is it for today. I think I'm good for tomorrow. We're going to do the same, morning meeting activity that we did where we decorated a gingerbread man up on the board. I have our little gingerbread people that we are going to decorate as a class. And yeah. I think it'll go well. I'm excited. So, yeah, I guess I will see you tomorrow. Sorry I didn't check in earlier. It's lunchtime now. We had a pretty busy morning, but we survived and we're here. I didn't really do a whole lot yesterday either, because I had a family gathering that I went to, so I didn't really get a whole lot done. But yeah, today we did some more Gingerbread Man stuff. We read a different version of the story. We read this one, which is retold by Eric A. Kimmel. And then we've been doing the Karen Schmidt one as well. So, like, that's the one that we did, like, our story map for, but I showed them a different version. Similar in that, the fox eats him in the end kind of thing, so we focused on that part. We also had a couple activities that I found online. I can link the activities, but we did some number matching. They have to do some cutting, and then they glue to match. And then we have some other similar activities, another counting one, and then some more matching the pictures, like this, where they had to match the pictures. And identical picture matching is one of the things that a lot of my kids are working on. So that was a way to kind of tie it in to our gingerbread unit. But yeah, it's lunchtime. I'm hungry, so I want to go eat lunch. Ignore the huge mess on our back counter and on my desk. It's a mess right now, but, it's lived in, we'll call it. Our classroom is lived in. I had a pre-observation meeting with my, supervisor person. It was very quick. We just did it over the phone because she couldn't make it over here today, I guess. So we talked over the phone about our plan. She's coming to observe circle time. But yeah, that's about it. I'm going to go eat some lunch, and then our next group of kids will come in, and we'll go from there. Okay, so it is my prep time. Most of my kids are just walked down to special. And then another friend went for a walk. Yeah, nothing too exciting, hopefully. This morning was a bit of a mess. Everybody seemed very off. Must be a storm brewing or something. So hopefully this afternoon goes smoother than this morning, but we'll see. So it is about 5 o'clock. I'm home. I had a little snack and everything. And now I'm going to take a little break before I get back to work. I do have a couple things that I need to do for tomorrow. But I just wanted to check in and let you know how the rest of our day went. So afternoon went pretty well. It was definitely a lot calmer than my morning was. I mean, it still wasn't great. The kids are always, they have a lot of energy, and, we have some things that we're trying to work on. Some of our behaviors can get a little much, but today actually was pretty good. I was very proud of them. We have one child who has been just like out of nowhere, like shining, like rock star. He'll repeat back things that, he's never said before. And like, he doesn't do a whole lot of talking. So when he like says something, like it's amazing, or like he was reading yesterday, like amazing. Things like that are always good. I got to talk with the BCBA a little bit. She sent me some things to print out to, start implementing with the kids, a couple of new like programs or like ways to track some of the things that we're talking about. So my students all receive DTI, or discrete trial instruction. And so that's very much, sit down one-on-one, pluses and minuses every time you answer a question, correct or incorrect. But that setting doesn't work for some of the goals that my kids have. For example, my kids have a taking turns goal, taking turns with a peer, or, waiting their turn in a large group setting, stuff like that. That doesn't really work in a DTI setting. Like, yes, you can take turns with the adult that you're working with and stuff. But for, some of their play or larger group goals, we have to keep track of that data a little bit differently. So the BCBA was able to send me a couple of like data sheets as kind of suggestions for me to work with. And then, I can always kind of tweak them to see what works best for our classroom. But so we are going to start, doing some of that tomorrow. I'll print up some of the things that she sent me, and, we'll try it and see if we need to make any adjustments. What else? Nothing else exciting, really. I have my observation tomorrow. I have a PPT tomorrow, so I need to make sure that my sub plans and stuff are all in place. So it's just, it's always kind of tricky. I never know who is going to be in my room, so I need to make sure that things are like very laid out, just in case, someone comes in who isn't familiar with my kids, who isn't used to the dynamic of our classroom. So I'll have to do that in a little bit, make sure that's all planned out, make sure that everything for my observation is ready. Even if it goes, not great, even if the kids are acting up, that's good, for my supervisor to kind of see, so she can give me advice. As a new teacher, I'm looking for all the support I can get, any sort of suggestions, or, people who want to come in and observe my class. I've asked so many people to come in and observe, just because, that, it's better for me, because then I can learn from more people and get, different suggestions and stuff. So I like having people come in to help. So even if things don't go well, I'll still get, some sort of feedback. Hopefully she'll have, some like constructive stuff that I can work on if it doesn't go well, but hopefully it does. But yeah, so those are my plans for this evening. So I made a bit of a mess, but I have portioned out the larger portions of ingredients that we need for our cookies tomorrow. So I have the sugar and the flour, and then everything else is like a tablespoon or a teaspoon of like the confectioner sugar and baking soda, vanilla, that kind of stuff. So I'm not going to put that into little baggies, but I put these larger ones in, and then the kids will be able to just pour these into the bowl. I also need to remember to grab my stuff from the fridge in the morning. I need the butter and the milk from the fridge. Make sure those come over. And yeah, I'm just going to bring this whole bag of goodies. I also threw in like some marshmallows and like some frosting-y stuff that like maybe we'll use to decorate if we're feeling adventurous, but I don't, that's not my priority. But I have all these things. I made a huge mess. But I'm excited for tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. But anyways, that is what I am doing for tomorrow, I have also, I have all my sub plans laid out. I got to print them out when I get to school tomorrow. I have a PPT tomorrow, and it will be during our snack and center time. For our first center slash play slash work time, we're going to be baking cookies. And then for the second center time, which the last section of my morning was awful. It was very tricky. I had it as more of a free play, and the kids were not, that was hard for them to have less structure. And like, I get that, but I still want them to have time to play, because we learn so much by playing. And, the professor that I worked very closely with at university was like such a huge like supporter of play. All the research, all the articles out there about kids learning through play, like his name is on it. You know what I mean? So everything that I've been taught is let kids learn through play, help them learn through play. So I was having a really hard time finding a good balance. And I don't have it over here. It's in my room. The book that I've been reading this year is, what's it called? So it is The Importance of Being Little, What Preschoolers Really Need from Grown-Ups. And it's awesome. I highly recommend. I've been, highlighting everything and like taking a lot out of it. And so one of the things that I've really taken out of this is the need for balance between, teacher directed and children choice. And, I definitely feel like I was more on the children choice side of things. So I'm working on really finding that balance. So we've set up a second center time where the kids have like a more of a rotation. And, it's tricky. We've just started it this week. And the kids are used to having a little bit more free reign and things. So it's hard, but I think it'll be good for them. And good for us too, to help get a little bit more structure. But yeah, so we're gonna try that and see how things go. But that is, the time that my PPT will be. So we've, done it for 3 days now. The kids seem to be starting to get the hang of it. So hopefully they'll be good for the sub tomorrow during that. Tomorrow is also my bus duty day. So I need to check with people and make sure that if I'm not out of my PPT in time, that someone can do my bus duty for me. Which will be tricky because 2 of the people who are allowed to cover my bus duty will be in the PPT with me. So I'll have to ask one of the teachers. I'll ask either the teacher next door or across the hall, just in case I can't get out there in time, if they can start bus duty for me. But that is it for me for tonight. I am going to watch a bit of Kitchen Nightmares because that is my favorite show. Actually, no. Bar Rescue is my favorite show. It's very similar, except Kitchen Nightmares deals with restaurants and Bar Rescue deals with bars. But I love Gordon Ramsay. So I'm going to watch a little bit of this show and then go to bed because it's late and I'm tired. Yesterday I stayed up, pretty late getting work done because, I had my family gathering and then I ended up getting back late. So I stayed up late finishing up my work. So today I want to get to bed a little bit earlier. Who knows if that'll actually happen. But yeah, so I will check in with you tomorrow. Tomorrow is my baking day and my observation day. So pray for me, wish me luck, send me good vibes, whatever it is that you do, I need them. So wish me luck. Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. It is 7:41 right now. I am way ahead of schedule, which is awesome because I wanted to get in early today. Just make sure everything's set up, put all the stuff in the fridge that needs to go in the fridge, get all of the ingredients all organized and stuff. Get ready for like the PPT and everything that I have. So yeah, today's baking day. It's going to be super fun, super messy, and like a complete disaster, but it's going to be fun. So I'm excited. Yeah, it's going to be a good day. So I have all my things in this bag here. And I have like all the ingredients measured out. I have like flour and stuff like extra so we can, like put it on like the table and, whatever. So yeah, that's my plan for today. I'm super excited. But yeah, I'm going to grab all my things and get ready to head out in a couple minutes. Hello, everyone. I am home. The day is done and I'm ready for a nap. No, but it like actually went really well today. Like the baking was a mess, of course, but like it wasn't as bad as I expected it to be. Like, yeah, I'm covered in flour and stuff, but it's fine. I say in the morning, it was definitely harder. But that's also like because of the kids that I had, and it was our first time making it, so I was still like trying to figure things out. But it went well. Our morning cookies were not great. I didn't taste them, but they were like rock hard and very tricky to get off the pan. But our afternoon ones didn't come out as bad. They were a little bit like softer when we took them out. They didn't have to stay in for as long as like the recipe said, but from what I hear, that oven runs hot anyways, so that was probably why. But yeah, it went well. In the afternoon, only a couple of them like actually liked doing the dough, so it wasn't too bad. But in the afternoon, I had one of the speech people and the occupational therapist come in. I had, told everybody that we were doing this, and they, came in and like helped out. One of my kids had an occupational therapy during that time anyways. So they would be doing some things like practicing rolling out dough and cutting things out with the cookie cutters and stuff. So they were still able to participate in the activity and work with the OT. So that was good. But yeah, I'm actually very impressed with how things went. Do I think that I'll do it again anytime soon? Heck no. But it was fun. The kids really liked it. There's no way that I'm going to pursue a career in baking. Ever. But the kids had fun. Most of them liked, being able to touch it and roll out the dough and stuff. So I'm glad that I was able to, do that for them. If I ever end up working with older kids, I think it's something that I would do. With the students that I have currently, it's very tricky because, we still have a hard time like waiting and taking turns and stuff. So having like one bowl for the group of like the 5 or 6 of them was hard, because we're still working on that turn taking and waiting stuff. But other than that, like it went a lot better than I expected. What else? Then in the afternoon, I had my observation. We had an issue with the bus, so I was out in the hallway getting a child who had come in late when my supervisor walked in. And so I said like, like we had a bus issue, so I'm just going to get her unpacked. And the supervisor was like, oh, okay. And, went inside to like get her computer out and get ready to observe me and whatever. So I brought the child in. We did our normal routine where the kids come in, they sign in. So we have pictures of each of the kids. And so they have to move it from the spot that says at home to the spot that says in the classroom. So I had the child do that. And then they have to sign in. So they write their name and they match all the letters in their name. So I had the child do that. And then we had some tabletop activities. We had some matching stuff and some puzzles. So we did that. And then we were able to transition to circle, and the transition went well. I was very proud of them. I did have a little bit of technology trouble, just like the TV was having a hard time. So it kind of like slowed down my lesson, and like I was trying not to let it throw me. I was able to get the TV on so we could do our activity that I had planned. It just took, a couple minutes. Whatever was fine. We did our activity. They they made the gingerbread house up on the board. I explained that we were going to be baking cookies today. I went over like our 5 steps, which were to pour the ingredients, to mix them up, to roll the dough, to cut out the people shapes, and then to put them in the oven. So we talked about that. And by we talked about that, I mean, like I had mentioned it very briefly, like I said those 5 words and that was it. Just because I know that these kids can't sit still for a long period of time. And a lot of the stuff that, if I try to have those longer conversations will go right over their head. So I tried to keep it really to their level. And I hope that that's something that my supervisor understands. Because when you're not in my classroom, it's hard to understand the level that my kids are at. So, for example, there's one thing that I hope that seeing helped her to kind of understand where my kids are at. So I said, today we're making cookies. And I looked at her child and I said, Bob, say cookie. And Bob just said, because he can't make that k sound, that harder C sound. And so, I praised him for doing that. Even that little sound, is amazing for most of my kids. So, little things like that. I hope that she noticed that I'm trying to accommodate for each of these kids and really work, on the level that each of these individual children are at. So, yeah. Other than that, I mean, things went well. They chose their songs. One of my objectives was for the children to be able to pick up a song, a picture, a peck, out of our song binder and hand it to me to tell me what song they wanted. So the kids were able to do that. That was fine. And then it was my prep time. So I sent a couple of, the kids to this place, a couple kids to that place. And then I told my supervisor, it's my prep time. I have to go get ready to bake cookies. And she's like, oh, fun. And then she left. So I didn't, really get any feedback right now. But next time I meet with her, she'll, give me her feedback and stuff. So hopefully in her eyes, things went well. But from my point of view, things went really well. And then we baked cookies again in the afternoon, which was fun. Like I said, it definitely went better in the afternoon, I think, because I kind of knew what I was doing. I was a little bit more prepared. I was less frazzled. In the morning, I was definitely frazzled. Also because I had less hands in the morning, because I have more students who require one-on-one support in the morning, which means I had less more free help. Do you know what I mean? Less people who weren't assigned to a specific child. And then in the afternoon, also, I had speech and OT come in. So then I had more hands there. So I think that definitely, made me feel better. There was an adult with each child, which was nice because then they each got, more one-on-one attention and really got the help that they needed to, to complete that activity, to bake, to roll it out, and to cut out the cookies. So yeah, things went well. And, I had not a meeting, but I went and I talked to the psychologist who has been so helpful, and I love her so much. She has definitely been my go-to every time I have a question. So I talked to her about setting up a meeting to talk to a family about giving my child, giving one of my students more time in an integrated classroom, which is always fun. So I have a couple of kids that are coming up and, starting to do really well. with like their academics, and so we want to push them to have more social time. So like giving them some time in a larger classroom setting will, help them to interact with more kids and work on those social skills. So yeah. Then I went home. That was pretty much it. So I'm home now. I am going to make some dinner. I'm going to hang out. I don't have a whole lot of work to get done for tomorrow. The activities that we had done yesterday, we still have some to do. So I'm just going to use those like leftovers as our activities for tomorrow, so I don't need to like prep anything major. Yeah, I think that's it. So I'm gonna just rest for a bit and kind of hang out. Maybe I'll do some more editing, or just like watch Netflix or something. I don't know. It was a long day. I had an observation. We baked cookies. I did a lot of work. I deserve a break. So I'm just gonna hang out, and I will check in with you tomorrow. Hey y'all, happy Friday. So confession, it's actually like 9 o'clock at night right now. But I didn't really film a whole lot today. So I'll, share some of the pictures I took and stuff. But yeah, I didn't really get a whole lot of filming done today. I will tell you that our morning went pretty well. We did have a couple meltdowns, but, they're 3 and, school is a lot for them. So I get that. But it went pretty well. And then during lunch, we had grade level meeting, which, are always a fun time. But we did find out that we have some new students coming next week, and that we will be having more kids than we thought. They didn't have any numbers for my class because my class runs, different than the other preschool classes. So I don't know if my numbers are going up, but I know the numbers in the other classes are going up because we have so many kids coming in. Again, I don't really know how that's going to affect my room. I do know now that students cannot start in my room. If they're new to our program, they will start in an integrated classroom. And then if we find that that is not the appropriate environment for them, they could move into my room. So my numbers would go up that way, because I don't really know what to expect. And I'm a person who really likes to know ahead of time. I'm a planner. Like, I like to know what's going to happen. So, that makes me a little bit nervous, not being sure what's coming. I will say that we are hoping to get some of my kids to get more integration time. So my numbers may go down first before they start adding kids to my room. I don't really know. We'll have to see, like with the timing of everything, how it plays out. Yeah. So that's what we talked about at grade level. We talked about a couple other things. Like we want to reorganize the bathroom up by my classroom, up by our end. Because there's a bunch of like spare diapers and, extra clothes and stuff like that, like just in case stuff. And it was kind of taking up a lot of space, and we weren't sure like if it belongs to somebody or if it was just like extras left over, we didn't really know. So like I asked everybody, like, can you just make sure that, you know where your stuff is so we can get rid of everything extra? And the 4-year-old teachers were like, oh, we don't have anything up there. So everything that's, not yours must be extra. So I know I have a box of like extra stuff in there, like if things like to change kids if need be. And I know the teacher next door has a box in there of extra stuff to change her kids if they need it. And I don't think the teacher across the hall has any. I think she keeps her extra stuff in the kids' cubbies. So, now that I know that anything that's not in my box or the teacher's box next door, is all extra stuff. So, I didn't get to do it today. But next week, I'm going to go through and get rid of not necessarily get rid of, but organize things. We have like a cabinet space where I can put stuff in. So I think I'm a person who likes to take things out and then only put back what belongs. That's kind of how I clean. I take everything out and then I organize it as I put it back. So I might stay late one day and like just do that to get it all out of the way. So yeah, that's my plan for that. And we'll see. Like obviously we want to keep some extra stuff in there just in case. Like there are like extra pants if someone has an accident and, we need to change them or whatever, like stuff like that. Like it's good to have extras, but it just needs to be better organized because right now it's just like a tripping hazard and it's just kind of all over the place. So that's my project for next week is to organize the bathroom. Our tabletop activity for today, the kids, when they come in right away, they will sign in, write their name, and then they'll do a tabletop activity. So our tabletop activity today was drawing. We have a rotating schedule. So today's schedule was drawing. It might be drawing with crayons. It might be drawing and writing with whiteboard markers, like dry erase markers. It kind of depends. So today I did something different and I gave them oil pastels, which, like we were saying, like it takes a lot less pressure to make a mark with an oil pastel than with like a crayon. So a lot of my kids are still working on getting more pressure when they're writing. That's something that, they're working on in occupational therapy, but also something that we can work on now because they were able to press lighter. So they're still making marks. So they're learning, that grip and learning the motions and things. But they didn't have to press as hard, as they're still working up that strength. I wasn't sure how they would like it because the texture is a little bit different than like a crayon. And like, it can get a little bit messy, like it gets on your fingers and stuff. But the kids actually seem to really like it. I'll put in a picture here, but I traced some gingerbread people. So they were able to color those in, because they're 3. They didn't, go and like decorate them, all pretty and color in the lines and stuff. It was a lot of just drawing everywhere, but a lot of my kids were like out of nowhere, like naming the colors that they were picking up, which is awesome. A lot of them have color goals. So, and like programs that we, work on color with them. So that's awesome to see them doing it like on their own, Of course, there were times where I was like, oh, what color is this? Or hand me the purple one. But a lot of times they just pick it up and be like blue and start coloring with blue. So that was awesome. But they seem to really like it. I will tell you that oil pastels, you could see that like they would get on your hands if you're using your hands to write with them, but they will also get on other parts of your skin. So if your child is playing with them and then, touches their face may end up, covered in purple, but it's fine. Just make sure you have baby wipes. We had to do a little bit of that today. We got a little messy, but it was fine. So that's pretty much all we did today. It was very cold outside today, so we didn't get to go outside for recess. So we hung out in the little gym. We have like a regular size gym and then a smaller one. So we went in the smaller one. We took out like some like bigger balls that they were like, kicking and throwing and stuff. And they had fun and just kind of like running around. It was a pretty chill day. I mean, other than our, getting our official news about our new kids, nothing too, out of the ordinary happened today. We do have some new kids starting next week. No one in my room. But, there will be some new faces. That's, what happens when you are in the 3-year-old program and kids, can come in on their 3rd birthday. We just kind of get kids all year. That was something that like I knew going into it, but I didn't realize how many kids we were going to get. And maybe it's just my district. Maybe it's just the system that I'm in, but we're getting a lot more kids than I expected to get. But I think also this year is a big year for us in that everyone I've talked to, like, this is the most kids they've had, you know, like years past didn't come close to the number of kids we have this year. So I don't know, maybe this is just a large group of students. I was always the largest group of students in, like, my grade was the largest of all the grades in the schools that I went to. So maybe it's my fault. I don't know. But yeah, so we'll be getting some new kids next week. So I'll get to see some new faces. And yeah, that's about it. I came home. Oh, I have been jamming. I have to tell you, stream What Am I Gonna Do by the Jonas Brothers. Best thing ever. It's amazing. The music video is fabulous. I highly recommend. Go watch it as soon as you're done watching this video. But I have been jamming all day. It was stuck in my head all day. But yeah, great song. Highly recommend. It came out today and it's fabulous. But yeah, so that's about it. I think I'll probably end this video here because tomorrow is Saturday and I will not be doing any major schoolwork tomorrow. I do have Monday off, which is awesome. So, you know, maybe I'll make some more fun videos this weekend, but otherwise I plan on just hanging out. So we'll see. Let me know if you have any content that you would like specifically that you're interested in. But yeah, so I'll leave a bunch of links down in the description to where you can find me elsewhere on like Instagram and my blog and stuff like that. But yeah, if you would like to, feel free to like the video, subscribe, all that jazz, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!